Cooking times two. I'm Stacy.
And I'm Stephanie, and we're going to show you a really easy recipe today. And our recipe today is going to be smothered fried potatoes served with sweet and spicy pork chops, thick cut pork chops. So,
Steph's going to go ahead and start with the potato dish first.
yeah, so I'm going to show you how to do what I call, and actually I did not call it this, it was called this by other people who live actually in the South, smothered fried potatoes. And it's just a method that's a little bit different than what we might be used to. We all know what fried potatoes are. We all know what mashed potatoes are. We all know what creamed potatoes are, but this is a little bit different. And basically what we're going to do is you cut your potato in half, you cut that in half, and then you cut that in half, okay?
So you leave them more like a JoJo or a thick
More
fry.
like a thick cut fry, short, stubby, thick cut fry.
Okay.
And then I left a couple potatoes in here so I could show you the way in which to do it, so you get them in the right size. And basically you start the potatoes out on high heat, and as we cook it, there's one in here that's really big. So as we cook it, we start it out on really high heat, and then we get everything kind of heated through, and then we add some onions and some peppers. Okay, so sis, you want to go grab that camera
Sure.
and meet me over at the stove?
Yep. Ready.
Okay, so basically you put a little bit of olive oil in the bottom of your Dutch oven, okay? And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about ghee. For anyone who might be dairy intolerant or lactose intolerant, you can use ghee instead of butter, in the place of butter. This is clarified butter, which means it doesn't have any dairy in it anymore, and it also is seasoned with pink Himalayan salt. So we don't have to add a lot of salt to this. I'm going to put 2 nice sized spoonfuls of ghee in there and a little bit of olive oil. Ghee also has a higher cook point than olive oil.
You left a bunch of that ghee on the spoon there. Can you get it off?
There you go. Yeah, there you go. It's kind of sticky, a little bit sticky. So we're going to let that melt a little bit. And I'm going to go over here and grab my potatoes. And we're going to put this, remember, on high heat, okay, at first. And we're going to make sure that, good, it's hot. We put 1 potato in there to see if it's going to give us a little sizzle. We're going to put that in there. Now, remember,
what's your seasonings for this?
yeah, remember, we don't need to add a lot of salt, but we're going to add a little bit. And again, I'm using Himalayan pink salt. And I wanted to get a little bit of garlic, minced garlic. I do not usually chop fresh garlic. I'm really so over chopping fresh garlic. I don't like the smell of it. I don't like to do it. So I'm kind of over it. Now I'm going to take a wooden spatula here and stir this around. Now the idea is you start it out on high heat, okay? So we're going to leave it on high for a little bit, and then we're going to put our onions in and our peppers. Now you can use any pepper you like. We had peppers in the refrigerator already, so we went ahead and used these little small sweet peppers that you can buy in a bag, okay? So we're going to leave that on high heat for a few minutes, and then we're going to cover it, okay? We're going to go ahead and cover it, and after it cooks on high for about 4 to 5 minutes, then we're going to go ahead and switch it and turn it down on medium-low. Not all the way down, but just medium-low, and we're going to set them aside, and then while we're cooking our pork chops, you're going to be able to see that these are going to smother and cook in their own steam. Okay, so that's it for now. Okay, these have been cooking on high heat now for about 5 minutes. Let's go ahead and open the lid and give it a stir. You do have to give it a stir a couple times. Okay, you notice they're getting a little brown, not a whole lot, but a little. Okay, now what we're going to do is go ahead and put the lid on it and turn that heat down to low, and I've got it on 2.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then pretty much forget about it.
Okay.
Okay, we walk away and we start making the pork chops now, okay? So sis, if you want to hand me the camera, I'll go ahead and take that from you.
All right. Here's our chops. We chose to use the thicker cut, boneless chops. I put a little Himalayan salt on them. You put a little bit of pepper. I have fresh ground pepper, but I couldn't find it, so I have to look for that. And I'm going to use a little bit of garlic powder. Once again, I don't use fresh because it does bother me. But anyway, I'm just going to do a little bit, not a whole lot. All right, what we're going to do is make sure your oil, I got about 3 tablespoons of oil in there. Make sure it's good and hot. And then let's go ahead and I'm going to put the seasoned side down first. Well, it wasn't quite hot, but it is sizzling.
There we go.
Take a second to get it going, yeah. I'm going to do 4 chops. We're actually going to end up making 6 chops total, but this pan didn't hold more than these 4. So I put the seasoned
You hand me
side
that
down.
plate, I'll take it. There you
Thank
go. Okay, sis, why don't you talk about how long we cook these babies?
Well, since they're really thick, as you can see, I mean, these are pretty thick chops. Look how thick those
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, those are thick.
Yeah. I go ahead and basically I kind of looked it up because I don't usually buy such thick ones. We should cook them for about 5 minutes on each side.
Okay.
And then, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to do 5 minutes on each side, and then I'm going to use my thermometer. And it should be at 145. So, and when you use the thermometer, well, I'll show you later, but when you use the thermometer, you got to make sure you do it just exactly the right spot. So these are going to cook 5 minutes on this side, then we'll come back and we'll flip them, and I'll show you how they should be browned and kind of caramelized looking.
Okay, well, you want to step over here and let's go ahead and give the potatoes a stir while we're waiting on that?
Get hot.
You should only have to take the lid off of these vegetables maybe twice and give it a stir, okay, before it's done. Oh, those are looking good.
Oh, yeah.
Tasty, tasty. Now, this is a time where if you wanted to add any more seasonings, you could. I'm just going to leave them the way they are because we've got salt in there, and some people might want pepper, some people might not.
And the ghee also has a lot of flavor.
Yeah, the ghee has a lot of flavor, and the garlic.
All right, let's go ahead and pause, and we'll come back when I think that it's time to flip these.
Okay.
All right, I went ahead and put a lid on this because it was really splattering. And I've got all kinds of scars all over my arms from splattered grease. So believe me, lids are a good thing. Yeah, I've even got scars on my chest. That's from barbecue. Okay, so I put a lid on this. And
Okay.
oh, those look good.
Oh, yeah, those look good.
Go ahead and flip them.
Now, you know, we didn't flour them. We didn't do anything special. We just salted them, peppered them, put a little garlic powder on them.
Get caramelized around the edges.
There we go.
Of course,
That looks
always
delicious.
gives you flavor.
Yeah, that looks
It always
delicious.
gives you flavor. Okay, these are going to cook 5 minutes on this side. Then we're going to check them, see if they're up to 145. And if they are, then we're going to make a sauce that takes literally 1 minute, maybe 2, to make, that makes these chops really special.
Yeah, makes them pop, makes them look fancy, and really it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. So
Yeah.
we'll be back in a minute, guys.
All right, I'm going to take the lid off. I'm going to check them real quick.
What temperature do we need them at, sis?
This is really good.
145.
145.
Yeah. There we go. Oh, those look beautiful.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right, they're ready.
All right.
All right. What I'm going to do now is we're actually going to put these in the oven for a little bit and just get them out of the way because I don't have a lot of room on that. And let them set because it's good to let meat rest for 10 minutes anyway. Then we're going to make a really quick pineapple hot pepper jam sauce to put on top.
Okay,
This
tell me what you're doing
skillet
here.
should be hot. I hope it is. We'll see.
Yep. Okay.
And you don't need any oil in there or anything.
You can chop those up even smaller if you want to. They don't have to be as chunky.
Could you hand me a spatula over there, please?
Yeah.
With this, these are moist enough, you know, that you don't need any type of oil or butter or anything in there. What we're going to do is we're going to let them caramelize a little bit. This one looks a little red, and this was mixed with some strawberries, a thing of strawberries and pineapple. And I buy that all the time for snacks. And then I just pull the pineapple out when I want to use it.
Yeah, you got to use what you have. I mean, you could buy a can of crushed pineapple if you want.
Yeah, but this is fresh.
But this is
to
fresh
me,
pineapple.
That's always better.
So let's look and see. Okay.
I'll stir them up a little bit.
So,
See if they're getting a little bit brown yet. Not really, a little bit, but not much. Probably the camera's not going to show us. I see a little bit on there, but not too much yet. And this is on pretty high heat. I got it on number 8 on my stove.
All right, so those are looking like they're just about ready. Okay.
Get that charred look. So, yeah, this is about the point you want.
Okay.
Then you just open that red pepper jam and you put it in there, and it's going to turn to a nice spicy liquid.
It's going to melt, going to turn into a nice sauce.
Mine's local. It's from Fun Farm. If you're from my area, you know where that is, here in Kearney. And I just use a half a jar. You can use a whole jar, however much sauce you want, you know. That's what you can do. And I need to turn it on low, and I'm going to pick it up off of there.
Yeah, you want to be sure you don't cook it real high on the heat because of the pepper jam. It can burn pretty quickly.
See how it's starting to kind of want to bubble and almost caramelize? Then after it calms down, you can set it back because I adjusted this burner now to low. That's a good little trick for anybody that doesn't cook a lot. That would be low heat if that was a really high burner. And then once it cools down, then it's back to low.
Okay. Hey, let that set for a second and let's look at our potatoes.
All right.
There we go.
Those are looking good.
Let's test them.
Yeah.
See. They're falling apart. They are done.
They are done.
Okay.
All right.
So we'll put the lid back on those.
All right. And the heat is off
now
on that.
Yeah.
All right, I think this is just about ready. It starts to get a little bit thicker, and that's from the sugars that are in all of it, because everything in here has a little bit of sugar in it, but the pineapple has a nice fructose in it, so it should get nice.
Okay, well, why don't we get our pork chop out, and we'll go ahead and get it plated.
All right. The oven's not on, so I can just grab that.
Yeah, just grab it, and I'll follow you over here, and you can use this fork if you'd like.
Yeah. All right, I'm just going to do one pork chop. I'm going to lay it there. I'm going to go ahead and take this nice caramelized glaze and put it on top.
Now, if you're not one that likes a lot of pineapple, don't put a lot of pineapple on it, okay? These are bigger chunks than what I used because the picture that is on our Cooking Times 2, I used crushed pineapple. So if you're wondering why the picture looks a little different, that's why. Now, she's going to get us some of these smothered potatoes.
I'm going to set them on your nice cutting board right there, Steph. Okay, let's see if I can get one that kind of is a good representation of everything that's on there. These look good. Now, these I haven't had before. So that's going to be a treat.
Yeah, the technique of smothering the potatoes is kind of between a boiled potato and what you would have as a fried potato. So the smothering technique is just a little bit easier because you don't have to fry it. You don't have to mess with the grease, and you also don't have to wait for your water to boil. So you can put a little bit of salt and pepper on there, and you'll be ready for a nice little feast. So I hope you
let you give it a try.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead and give it a try.
All right, we'll give it a try. Let me try the pork chop first. Oh, that looks good.
Put a little pineapple.
You know, this probably could have set just a little longer because I can tell it's going to be really hot.
Oh yeah.
So we will take a taste here. Try not to burn my mouth like you did the other day and run for the sink.
It's worse yet. Is it delicious?
Very, very good.
All right, let's look at the inside of the chop. It looks good. All right. Now I'll try the potatoes. I'll go ahead and try the potatoes. And I'll try not to do what I've done before. I made a potato dish one time, and I put a big chunk in my mouth, and it got stuck up in the palate of my mouth, and I could not get to the sink fast enough to get rid of that potato. I couldn't get it out. It was horrible, and it burned the whole top of my mouth.
How about the time we were at Pizza Hut, and you decided to sniff the red pepper?
Oh, yeah, that was bad. I've had a lot of, those are delicious stuff. I haven't had these before.
Okay, so,
that's really good.
Guys, this is an easy recipe. It looks kind of fancy even, okay? And it's not hard to do at all. You get those potatoes going. You could add cabbage to that. You could add green beans to that. Whatever you want to put with those, you can make. Or you can just put potatoes.